to make enough room for the three of them to hide. The Reaper inserts its glowing tail inside the hole, so Will throws a flare to distract it. The light reveals a way out in the opposite wall, so they push away a few rocks to crawl through it to escape. Will moves last and has to dodge the Reaper's tail before following his friends. After crawling for a few minutes, Katie comes out into another tunnel, only to be found by a Reaper that immediately stabs her with its tail. Will tries reaching for her, but he isn't fast enough and has to watch how the monster takes her away. At that moment, Nina finds a ladder, so she and Will immediately climb up while hearing a Reaper behind them. Thankfully, they find the door and run out of the mine, reaching a safe altitude just in time. Nina and Will continue their journey, not stopping for anything except petting a goat. When it gets dark, they find an abandoned house and break in to spend the night. There are some mac and cheese boxes and they have them for dinner, while Will shares that it's Hunter's favorite food. He asks Nina what's in the old lab, so she explains she may find a chemical that may finally help the bullets damage the monsters. She theorizes that the Reaper's scales are electrically charged, so the right bullet could cause internal combustion. Will thinks it sounds like an unbelievable magic bullet and can't believe his wife died over a weak theory. The next day they take the truck from the house and use it to cross the line as fast as possible, going through a town that has been taken over by animals. Eventually they make it to the hospital and search for the filters while hearing some weird noises, but the compass doesn't alert them of anything. They have to go to the last floor to finally find the filters, then they start running to escape. Suddenly a Reaper pierces a wall and the duo has to move quickly to dodge those huge claws. They still bump against a bunch of furniture on their way out and get hit by falling debris every time the Reaper destroys a wall or window. Suddenly the monster's tail reaches through a wall and captures Will, so Nina grabs the fire axe and hits the tail with it until the monster lets go of her friend. Then Nina opens a gas canister to fill the corridors with fog, hoping it'll provide some cover. This gives Will an idea, so he waits for the Reaper to come close enough and shoots a bunch of oxygen tanks. It causes an explosion that sends the monster flying through the window. The creature isn't moving anymore, but they can't be sure if it's dead or unconscious, so they need to hurry. Will wants to go back, however Nina convinces him to help her get to the lab so she can finish her bullets. After the duo leaves on the truck, the Reaper wakes up. Moments later they make it to the lab and Nina starts mixing chemicals while Will keeps watch. On one of the desks he's shocked to see a picture that reveals Nina used to have a family she never talks about. Nina cries as she explains that on the day the world ended, she had been working and couldn't be with her family. She feels extra guilty because her son had a soccer game that day and she chose not to go. Nina also admits she hates herself for causing the death of Will's wife, but Will assures her it was nobody's fault. When Nina finally finishes her bullet, she tests it on the hide and nothing happens. She tells Will to go back to his son, but she's staying to keep on experimenting until she finds a solution or the Reaper's killer. Will leaves on his truck while Nina tries another bullet mix, but it doesn't work either. She's so distracted that she doesn't notice her compass reacting. At that moment she hears some noise but also realizes there's a certain chemical combination she hasn't tried, so she hurries to mix it as her last hope. Meanwhile the truck accidentally pops a tire and loses control until it falls on its side. Will is unconscious for a few moments but wakes up when he hears a monster coming. He has to kick off the truck window to get out and starts running as the Reaper chases after him. Going up the hill is hard for his body after the crash, and by the time he's about to cross the safe line, a second Reaper is blocking the way. Will desperately opens fire to no avail and loses hope, but at that moment Nina shows up and shoots her new bullets. A strange explosion happens full of smoke and electric charge, confirming her theory. Nina quickly shoots all the Reapers, killing them in seconds even when they try to run away. Then she grabs a piece of the Reaper's body and shows Will the mechanical parts, confirming these beasts are robots that were programmed to kill humans. When Will asks who sent them, Nina theorizes it was aliens. Later when the duo returns to their refuge, Will reunites with Hunter and Nina raises a pirate flag to announce she's discovered a way to fight. Soon survivors gather to build tons of special bullets and Will finally uses the radio again to send their message of hope everywhere. Nina also keeps monster bodies to keep on studying them. Once everyone is armed, the survivors enter the forest and kill as many Reapers as possible to retake the land. One night Will and Nina look at the sky with a telescope and notice 3 mysterious lights approaching Earth. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.